Evan's Journey to Life. Consciousness, Energy, Authority, Conclusion. Day 46. As mentioned in the previous post, we're walking the point of choice and the consequence of energy authority within and as choice in our current accepted and allowed relationship to and manifestation as choice, and how this relationship and manifestation of ourselves as choice manifested the consequences we now exist as the mind relationship to the physical and the world system of money relationship to this physical existence. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand the current manifestation of choice as me. The beginning. The moment I signed the deal with the devil, the offering of my soul in and as fear and fear of loss, that fear and fear of loss would be the awareness of choice itself, and always in all ways ensure that I continue my existence as energy authority over and of life authority, in controlling my relationship within and as cause and acceptance of separation and effect and allowance, friction and conflict as negative energy experience, consuming substance to transform into energy to accumulate the neutral and positive energy experience. Within and as the nature and action of me as deliberate blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, for me as energy to possess and empower me as energy, and so protect and defend my survival as energy. That all choices will only stand within the context of my survival as energy authority, within and as the starting point of and as fear and fear of loss. The mind consciousness system. Automated and autopilot consciousness as my soul, of and as fear and fear of loss, as the awareness of choice itself, will always in all ways ensure that I continue my existence as mind and energy authority over and of the physical body, and my relationships and physical environment in the world, as I continue within the relationship of cause and acceptance of separation, conceiving myself as separate from the physical body and this physical existence and others as me, to effect and allowance, the effect of that cause as the constant and continuous friction and conflict my unconscious mind manifests to and towards the physical body in consuming physicality to transform into energy. Where, in and as this relationship as consequence and consequence outflow of mind authority, the nature and action of me in and as this relationship stand within and as deliberate blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, where I would in all situations, moments, and interactions and participations with others and this physical environment and existence, protect and defend my possession and empowerment as energy for my survival. Through all choices only standing within and as the context of my survival as energy authority, within and as the starting point of fear and fear of loss. The world system of money. Automated and autopilot money consciousness, existing as the soul of fear and fear of loss, of and as the world system, as the awareness of and as choice itself, will always in all ways ensure that it continue its existence as money authority over and of this physical existence, as it continue within the relationship of cause and acceptance, of separation conceiving itself as separate from and of this physical existence, and all and everything and everyone in, within, and as and of it, to effect an allowance, the effect of that cause as the constant continuous friction and conflict it manifests as its unconscious mind through and as famine, poverty, starvation, deforestation, fracking, drilling, desertification, extinction, animal abuse as consuming physicality to transform into money, where in and as this relationship as consequence and consequence outflow of money authority, the nature and action of and as this relationship stand within and as deliberate blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, where it would in all situations, moments, interactions, and participations with and this physical existence, protect and defend its position and empowerment as money, through all choices only standing within and as the context of its survival as money authority within and as the starting point of fear and fear of loss. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how my entire mind consciousness system and this world system of money is and had become an automated, autopilot, internal and external system of consciousness as the soul of fear, as the awareness of choice within and as fear and fear of loss, protecting and defending only its internal and external survival as energy within and money without, where all my choices within and without of who, how, and what I am with energy and money will be done within and as separation, of protection and defense, control and motivation within fear of my survival as energy within and money without. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to thus see, realize, and understand that I have no responsibility, directive principle, and will within and as the choices I make internally and externally, as responsibility was abdicated to consciousness to protect and defend my survival as mind authority within and money authority without. And so all choices will be made through the nature and action of me as mind and world system as blame within and as spite, excuse, and justification to secure my possession and empowerment of energy and money within and as choices I make for me as consciousness and mind within and money without. Directive principle was abdicated to consciousness to control my relationship with cause and acceptance and effect and allowance, to ensure that within that separation I manifest the friction and conflict as negative energy experience, to accumulate energy and money for my possession and empowerment. And so all choices I make stand within and as this starting point of separation and consuming physicality to transform into energy, to secure my possession and empowerment of energy and money within and as the choices I make as consciousness. Will was abdicated to consciousness to motivate and instigate my choices and movements within and as fear and fear of loss. The moment my energy experience within and money experience without lessen to the negative energy experience, and so activate my nature and action of blame as spite, excuse, and justification within and as the relationship of cause and acceptance and effect and allowance that drive me to, in moments, make choices that will protect and defend as ensure and secure my possession and empowerment as survival as mind and money authority within and without. And so all choices I make as consciousness, as energy and money will be done within and as fear and fear of loss. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how I have internally and externally manifested me as an organic robot with the automated and autopilot mind consciousness system and the world system of money relationship to my physical body and its physical existence, with internal and external consciousness primary program manifested in and as fear and fear of loss, pre-programmed with choice to ensure its own survival as possession and empowerment of energy within and money without, with the nature and action circuitry designed within and as blame as deliberate spite, excuse, and justification, with its purpose manifested to secure the relationship of cause and acceptance and effect and allowance, in controlling the separation and manifestation of friction and conflict as negative energy experience to always and always manifest its choices to obtain and attain its temptation as energy within and money without. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how, within this, as the mind of energy and the world system of money within and as fear and fear of loss and choice for my survival as mind within and the world system without, I have never within my existence in fact lived within myself, and neither does the world system of money give and gift any opportunity of living, as all choices within and as the natures and action of the mind and the world system is done within and as deliberate blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, within and as separation, as friction and conflict, for the empowerment and possession of energy and money temptation, to be a God unto myself, within myself only, and thus for the world system to establish its godhood unto itself only. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand that as this organic robot existence of me as the mind of energy within and the world system of money without, I have had no responsibility, directive principle, will, and choice in and as the consequence and consequence outflow I manifest within, and as my internalized possession of survival as energy and money, as the consequence and consequence outflow, my relationship of cause and acceptance as separation, and effect and allowance as friction and conflict, as consuming physicality to transform into energy and money for my empowerment and temptation as energy, and money manifest in my physical body and this physical existence as me. And within this, my why and how I have had no ability to in fact direct and change the consequence and consequence outflow I as the mind and the world system of money manifest to my physical body and this physical existence, as my physical body and this physical existence had been taken over by and through mind authority within and money authority without, that has taken authority over and of my living to the enslavement and damnation of survival within and as separation of protection and defense, control, motivation within fear, and so had taken authority over and of choice. I commit myself to show how and why we are directly responsible for the consequence and consequence outflow we, as the mind within and the world system of money without, manifest to our physical bodies in this physical existence, as the consequence and consequence outflow originate from and of our who, how, and what we are as the organic robots, as the mind consciousness system within and the world system without, that exist within and as a relationship of cause acceptance and effect allowance that is manifesting in consequence and consequence outflow to and towards our physical bodies and this physical existence. I commit myself to show how and why, within and as every moment we've made a choice, through and as our nature and action of and as blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, as the mind, and as the world system of money, we've manifested the cause and acceptance of and as separation, and the effect allowance, the effect of that cause as the constant continuous friction and conflict my unconscious mind manifests to and towards the physical body in consuming physicality to transform into energy, and the unconscious mind of the world system through and as famine, poverty, starvation, deforestation, fracking, drilling, desertification, extinction, animal abuse as consuming physicality to transform into money, which manifested the consequence and consequence outflow we now experience in the mind and in this world. I commit myself to show how and why, as long as we exist as mind authority and world system authority that only exist for its own survival, protecting and defending its possession and empowerment within and through choices made within the starting point of fear of loss, that manifest our nature and action in and as blame, as spite, excuse, and justification, and establishing within that the constant continuous relationship of cause and acceptance and effect and allowance, we're going to continue manifesting consequence and consequence outflow in ourselves and this existence as ourselves, with no solution that can stand within and as what's best for all as equality and oneness. I commit myself to show how we've always tried to fix consequence and consequence outflow in the relationship between the mind and the physical body and the world system of money to this physical existence, not seeing, realizing, understanding that with only fixing and mending consequence and consequence outflow without changing ourselves as mind authority and world system authority within, and as the very who, how, and what it consists of and exists as, we're never in fact going to manifest an eternal solution for all within and as equality and oneness. Because what is manifesting in the consequence and consequence outflow in the first place is our relationship of and as cause and acceptance of separation, and the effect and allowance of that relationship as the friction and conflict that consume physicality to transform into energy and money for our possession and empowerment as survival as energy and money. I commit myself to show how and why we're only going to manifest an eternal solution for all on this earth in generations to come within ourselves and the without of and as ourselves, if we give up and let go of our possession as energy and money, within the context of our relationship to and with it as possessing it, to empower only ourselves in the within and without of ourselves as energy and money, to give up and let go of wanting, needing, and desiring the temptation of godhood, to earth is an energy as mind consciousness, in returning it into and as the equality and oneness with and as the physical body, to live in and as and with the physical body, in and as equality and oneness, and so earth the money, in returning it into and as equality and oneness with and as its physical existence, so all may live in and as this physical existence, in and as equality and oneness. I commit myself to, through writing, self-forgiveness, and self-corrective application, stop the relationship of cause and acceptance as separation, through and as getting to know my mind, and align me into and as a physical living being of and as living words, equal to and one with my physical body, and so stop the effect and allowance of my separation from myself as the mind in my physical body that manifested into and as of the energies of negative, neutral, and positive, to no more be subject to energy as consciousness control, but in fact take responsibility for who, how, and what I am within myself and my living, to establish awareness of every decision I make, and that each decision is in fact made within equality and oneness, and not just for me to possess and empower me as mind authority. So that in that stopping, I stop the consequence and consequence outflow. I, as the mind, as energy authority, had manifested to my physical body, and so this physical existence as a whole. I commit myself to stand as the solution, the decision for and as life, through taking responsibility, directive principle, and will, and assisting and supporting me to be and become the living solution to the consequence and consequence outflow I had manifested as mind authority within and world system authority without, standing as a living example for all to see, realize, and understand that how and why exactly we're only going to manifest an eternal solution in this physical existence if we in fact stand as and live that eternal solution as ourselves, and how and why the equal money system stand as the eternal solution for all within this physical existence as its principal directive, responsibility, and will stand within and as ensuring that each and all have an equal and one opportunity to life and living within and as this physical existence. This concludes the framework of the soul of fear as consciousness as energy authority, as energy as authority. How we've abdicated our living of and as directive principle, responsibility, will, and choice to energy authority survival within and as fear and fear of loss, that is and has controlled choice for its own survival and possession and empowerment of energy within and money without, manifesting consequence and consequence outflow as the current state of our relationship as the mind to the physical body and the world system of money to this physical existence. That as long as we exist as mind in the world system within the starting point of survival, controlling choice within and as fear and fear of loss, we're not going to in fact bring an eternal change to self and its physical existence as a whole. From here, within post to continue, one will more specifically see, realize, and understand the consequence and consequence outflow of ourselves as the mind within the world system of money, and the extent to which fear and choice had manifested ourselves into and as eternal damnation, perpetuating consequence and consequence outflow in ourselves and this existence as ourselves, instead of bringing about eternal solutions that is and will be best for all in and as equality and oneness.